Okay, team, I am so excited to have you guys all on tonight. Welcome to Becoming Legendaries Team Zoom. We are super excited to talk with you tonight about re-ranks and promotions, belief, strategy, game plan, all the things. So I'm super pumped, you guys. I am so grateful for your hard work. I want to shout out every single person on here that's showing up for their business every single day. You guys, it does not go unnoticed. I'm super proud of you. Some rock stars I see right off the bat: Jeannie Mallett, Shannon J, Chelsea, Noella, Jesslyn O'Leary, Jessica Cook. You guys are just Melissa, Graham. You guys are just putting in the work every day, seeing the results, and I'm super, super proud of you. So I am excited for all that we have to share on tonight. Zoom, I actually have a couple other leaders that are going to share tonight as well. Shannon J, she is a rock star. She is one of our Canadian leaders, double diamond leader. And she's going to talk about how she re-ranked to our leadership ranks and then also promoted in the last couple months. And that's exactly what we're talking about tonight. So we want to hear from you, Shannon, all the good things that you have to share. And thanks for taking time out of your night tonight. So you can go ahead and unmute when you're ready.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Stacey, for the introduction. So for those of you that don't know, I'm going to keep this like really short and sweet. I was a customer first and I lost 10 pounds my first month using the products and needed to find a way to keep on using them. So obviously my beautiful enroller, Jessica Cook, she was like, Shannon, you need to sell them and then make money. And I was like, okay, as if people don't make money online. But jumped in. I ended up going diamond in my first 3 months. Earned the $15,000 bonus, and it's kind of gone from there. But what I really want to talk about is ranking, re-ranking, making a plan, hitting goals, and not hitting goals, to be honest. So ever since I went diamond, which was in May of 2020, I have been working towards this level. So that is almost 3 years. So that is a lot of failure along the way, a lot of lessons learned, a lot of leveling up within yourself, right? You will never get to the next level until you level yourself up to get there. So obviously working through that, lots of life happens, team rotates. I don't think I have a single person left on my team from my original diamond rank. I might have one, and my husband. So I don't know if he even counts, but that's okay. And going forwards through that has just been like a transitional period. And again, you just have to make sure that you're failing forwards, constantly making a new plan. Beginning of the month is always a fresh start. Make sure you are doing your charting so that you know where you are at and where you need to go. If you do not have your chart out, if you do not have those numbers in, I almost want to guarantee that you are not promoting that month. You need to know where you are, where you need those numbers. And I count them as I go through the month. Every single day, I'm checking eSuite and updating those numbers with new enrollments, any API orders, anything. They're going in that chart. So I know exactly where I am, what numbers I need. So definitely then it is working with your team. For a very long time, it is easy to try to do everything yourself, but it's honestly not possible. So after I went diamond, the month after my husband promoted to diamond, so that was the last month. So I would have been June 2020 that I had any promotional ranks, Ruby and above, until December, for sure December of this past year. So that was like 2 years probably on my team of no promotions. It was painful. And it was a struggle. It was a real struggle. And it was finding the people, and it was leveling myself up to make sure that I was providing the leadership that they needed. I think for a really long time, I was focusing too much on my own business and not pouring enough into them. So again, lessons learned, different leadership things. In Canada here, we had an event called Winter Wonderland in December that 20 of the top leaders made it to, and it was eye-opening, huge, amazing. So collaborate, guys. If there's other people, like, you need collaboration. You need collaboration from your team, from other leaders, just constantly grabbing new ideas and implementing new things. If you're not, then you're putting a cap on your business and you're never gonna grow. So yeah, it was really, really just rebuilding, constantly checking in with team, keeping things going. So I had maintained my diamond with volume for a very long time. And finally I think it was February, we re-ranked by chart, which was super exciting. One of my girls is just absolutely killing it. Her and I are very similar, which is very, very nice. So that's the other thing, is you have to find these people that are going to show up and work with you. That could take a lot of distributors to find those few that are going to show up and do the work and follow what you're doing. And that's okay. You will find those people, keep manifesting them, say your affirmations every single day, and don't focus on dragging the ones along that aren't going to come. That's a big thing. And definitely setting those expectations. I realized last October that I was setting the bar way too low to try and bring everyone along. I was like, guys, if you get up 10 haps for the month, you're going to get a little gift. And I was like, oh my God, 10 haps? Like, what am I doing? So now it's like 40 haps, guys. You have to get up 40 haps at least for the month. You have to do like more, telling them what they actually have to do, right? They will rise to the bar that you set. So then in March, we got my husband's re-ranked diamond and I went double. And it's just been kind of a whirlwind ever since, but definitely implementing all those different things that I've learned, and bringing them together and getting a lot of team input. I would say for a long time, I kind of like controlled what was happening. It was whatever Shannon said, whatever Shannon did, whatever Shannon's scripts were, whatever Shannon's posts were. But now it's way more team. And I don't even give the tasks for my team in our team chat. I don't even do it. So I have let go a lot of control and brought in way more collaboration within our own team, which has been really, really great. Stuck on mute.
I can't find the mute unmute button. Shannon, I love that so much. And something that really stood out to me is that you grew. Hey. My kids are losing it and my husband's not here. One second.
I just got my son down like right before we were hopping on the Zoom. I was like, shh, gotta go talk. Shh. Yeah, right. Oh my gosh. Yes, seriously, real life, guys. This is just how it is. People are we're here, there, and everywhere. Mom life. Yeah. This is what happens when I like let my team know that like I opened their message and I'm so sorry that I didn't respond, because all of a sudden children are screaming. I promise it's not that I didn't want to respond.
Oh my gosh, you guys, of course. But this shows you that no matter how crazy and chaotic your life is, you can still be successful, even when your house is a nut house like mine is right now. So anyway, something that I love that stood out to me, Shannon, is that you became a leader and you worked hard, but you were always willing to grow and you were willing to shift. And the collaboration is where it seemed like the magic really was to move past that diamond rank. Yeah. It was when you kind of just realized that, yeah, you started this business for you. We all start it for us. Like that's what we do when we go into it. We are wanting to bring in extra income. We want to change our lives. But when we really grasp the vision of how much it can impact other people's lives, it becomes a blessing to be a blessing to others. And then we are blessed in turn, and our business just catapults. And really that's the same kind of story with me. I'm like, I need this money really bad. But when my shift went to just really focusing on working with my team as a whole, the promotions and the ranks just like were back to back. It was awesome. So I am excited for you sharing that, because we're sharing stuff with you guys. Some of you that have been in for a while, some of you that have learned this over the years that are strong leaders, but it's important to work together as a team. Now you have to find your people. And like Shannon said, it's so important. Something else you said was that, you know, you're going to get a lot of people started that don't take it seriously and don't catch the vision. You've got the vision. You keep running no matter what, and those people will come, right? Many of us had to build our own businesses to that ruby or emerald rank without any workers. Like, let's just be honest. But they came at the point where and growth needed to happen. So you keep consistently working and you bring them in.
Yeah,
so
I know the funniest thing
that
that I love too is like, I didn't even cry when I went double. I cried when my girl went diamond. Like, so it wasn't even about me. It was just so exciting that that was happening for her, right? And like the income that she was bringing in. So yeah,
That is
proud mama bear. That's kind of how I felt. Proud mama bear moment.
that is such a beautiful thing. And that's when you know you've experienced such growth as a leader and as a business owner, and how you know that this opportunity is not just impacting and changing your lives, but so many in the process.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that is what I want our team to be for, as world changers, people changers. Like we're there to help others. Like I love that so much. Thank you so much for sharing,
Awesome.
Shannon. If you could give us with just a couple tips when you are running, I think you kind of said them too, so maybe just reiterate 2 tips when you are running to re-rank and promote that were helpful to you. And you can reiterate what you already said too. We'll just leave.
Yeah, so definitely have your chart out. Make sure you're constantly updating it. Daily check-ins with your leaders. How are they doing? How are their teams doing? What's the game plan? Where are we at? And just basic consistency. Like last month was one of my biggest enrollment months, customer wise and distributor wise. And I know that that's a huge part of what carried us there.
I love that so much. Thank you again so much, Shannon. And I want you guys to know for those to like emerald, diamond, double, that's checking in with your leaders. Those of you that are going for that ruby promotion, that first promotion, that's you just get start out and being consistent as you are building new leaders under you and becoming and growing as a leader yourself. And so many of you are working very closely with your uplines if you are going for a specific promotion, so you kind of understand the different tools that you're going to use. But thank you so much, Shannon. We appreciate you. We love you. You inspire us. And I just thank you for talking on the Zoom tonight. Appreciate you. Okay, so now I'm going to have Diamond Leader Chelsea Noella talk to us about belief, because if you don't believe in yourself and you don't believe that this is possible for you to actually make money in this business, like Shannon said before, she's like, no one really makes money online. Well, she learned real fast, didn't she, how much money she could make online. So it's important for you guys to have belief in yourself and belief in the opportunity and see the value in it. And then not just belief when you're starting, like with your why and believing that you can do it, but continued belief as you are going through goals or going to reach goals and ranks. So Chelsea, take it away, girlfriend.
All right, perfect. So just like Shannon said that she was like re-ranking and then promoting from there, I did the same exact kind of thing where I bulldozed over my team, everything kind of fell. I've had to re-rank 3 different times to get to the next level. And so now we have a lifetime rank of diamond, and then I have a 2.0 account that's also lifetime rank of diamond. And so every single time that I've gone for those promotions, I started realizing every single time that I tried and failed, or maybe I promoted and then went backwards, I realized that it had to do with belief and it had to do with my mindset the entire time. And so last year, I really made it my year to really grow. And I had a couple of top leaders that I was following that were talking about how they were reading books like crazy. So last year became my first year where I read every single day of that year. And I fell into a lot of leadership books. I fell into a lot of relational intelligence, emotional intelligence books. Books just about dreaming bigger and believing in yourself and believing in other people and helping other people and so on and so forth. And so I want to talk more about the mindset behind that tonight. And that comes, of course, with belief.
We take every case, every client
I think
comes to us, and we truly.
There you go. Thank you. So as far as the belief goes behind it, it's kind of like our business is kind of like babies learning how to walk. Okay. And I'm a huge person on analogies. So you're going to hear me say analogies like crazy throughout every single talk that I tell you guys. Okay. So just like babies learning how to walk, when a baby learns how to walk, they're focusing on one thing, right? And that is to walk. Right? They are surrounded by other people who are walking every single day, and they are watching all of these people around them getting the things that they want and having easy access to it. And just like a baby would fall down and learn how to get back up, our business is a business that we fall nonstop and we get back up. We have to choose to get back up. A baby doesn't fall and then just say, well, I guess I'm just never going to get up, right? They get up and they try again and they try again. And a lot of a baby learning how to walk is also about the focus that they have on it. So if you ever notice a baby learning how to walk, I have 2 kids myself, a 9-year-old and a 3-year-old. So I'm pretty like knowledgeable about how babies learn how to walk, right? I've seen both of them learn how to do it. They have this laser focus on where they're going. And so they'll stand up and at first they're holding on to, you know, the coffee table, or they're holding on to your leg or to the counter or the cupboards or whatever. And then eventually they start getting so laser focused on where they want to go that they just do it. And they just go for it and they just keep going. And sometimes they'll fall down and they'll try to stand back up and they'll regain their strength. So just like a baby learning how to walk, you have to learn how to be laser focused on where you're going. And then you've got to be so laser focused that no matter if you fall or you have a couple of setbacks, you've got to get back up so that you can get to where you want to go, right? And somewhere along the way, going into adulthood and stuff like that, I feel like we lost that, right? We lost that belief in ourselves, and we had people around us telling us that we couldn't do that. And we had, you know, our mom telling us that those businesses don't work, you know, or we had our friends telling us that they're not going to be supportive of something like that, right? How many of you guys have heard that before? Say it in the chat, because when it comes down to it, I know that we've all been through something like that or similar to that. I know my sister looking right at me in the face and said, when are you going to go get a real job anyways, right? And it's crazy how we have all these naysayers and these people around us, and we allow them to get into our head. And so going into a season where you're promoting, it is a season where you have to block those things out. So if you've ever heard a top leader or any of the leaders in general saying things like, get your laser focus on, or put your blinders on, or Mark Pentecost likes to use tunnel vision, right? And what they're saying is that you've got to stop paying attention to everybody that's around you that's telling you that you can't do it. You've got to get so laser focused, and you've got to focus on those people who are telling you that you can. You've got to surround yourself with believers and people who know that they can get to the next level. And then they also in turn know that you can get there too. I had a call with Stacey literally just yesterday, and I said, I just need some belief. That's all I need. I just need some belief, because I know that I can do it myself, right? But sometimes I feel like we go backwards and we start to hear all these things around us, or our team is struggling and we're hearing our team say, well, this isn't working for me, and this isn't working for me, and that's not working for me. And we are consistently pouring into other people all the time. So when you're pouring into people all the time and you have nobody pouring into you consistently, can I get an amen in the chat if you've ever been like that before, ever went through that? It gets rough, right? You're pouring from an empty cup consistently. So I'm going to give you guys some tips tonight on how you can stay laser focused. Even if you are kind of an orphan the way that I was when I first started. My upline quit 2 months in, and I had to come up by myself to a diamond account and a diamond 2.0. And then I found Stacey after I hit that 2.0. So it's crazy how things work, and everything's happening for a reason. But I want to share with you guys 6 tips on how you can get ready and how you can stay ready. So you want to make sure you're writing these things down. These are some of the things that have literally transformed everything for me. And I've learned this through trial and error. I've learned this through going diamond on 2 accounts. I've learned this from trying and failing. I've learned this through reading the books, and all the books, book after book after book after book, and listening to the podcast and surrounding myself with other people who are doing the same exact thing. And this is just kind of a conjunction of all of it. And I put it into six different steps for you guys. So step one is personal development. You've got to be poured into every single day, because when someone pours into you, it's like filling your cup up. And when you fill that cup up, you can then pour into your team and pour into other people. This creates self-awareness also. How can you move forward if you're not even aware that you're constantly looking in the rearview mirror, right? I was looking in the rearview mirror for so long, and this is why we lost rank. was because I was looking at all the people who were not doing the things on my team, or I was looking at all the people who were like saying they were going to show up but didn't actually show up. I was looking at all of the people who were like telling me that they were half in, half out. I was sitting there thinking, well, if she could just pick up, or if that person could just come back. And I was unaware that I was even doing this until I started doing personal development. So personal development really increases your self-awareness. It fills your cup up, and it allows you to be mature enough to look at yourself and say, okay, what can I do from this moment? Because we need to stop worrying about what everybody else is doing. How can I move forward myself? And then you're able to get laser focused once you start learning that self-awareness, okay? And then it's almost like, I describe it as an awakening. There was one day where I literally just woke up and everything became crystal clear. And I know that there's some people in here who probably know exactly what I'm talking about. And then there's some of us in here who are unaware of this. Keep reading the books, keep reaching out to the people who are doing the things, and that belief will transfer to you. And then when that belief transfers to you, you'll be reading the books, you'll be doing the things, you'll be following in their footsteps. Success leaves clues. So you're going to be doing all the things because you're surrounded by the other people who are doing the same exact thing and believe in themselves. So step one is to make sure that you're doing personal development. Help yourself wake up, help yourself grow in that self-awareness. Yeah, absolutely. You will be unstoppable when you do that. Number two, just like Shannon said, you have to have a map. You've got to have a detailed plan. If you're telling yourself that you're going ruby or emerald or diamond or even above, and you don't even have a map out, there's not a chance. And the reason why is because, think about this, okay? I love analogies, like I said. If you come to me and you say, Chelsea, I want to take a trip. And I say, all right, Stacey, where are we going? And she says, well, I'm not really sure. And I'm not really sure how to get there either. I'm like, well, how are we supposed to get from point A to point B if we don't even know where we're going, right? And maybe it's the other way around. You know that you want to go from Maine to Florida. I live in Maine, that's why I say that. You know you want to go to Maine to Florida, but you're not even willing to get your map out to see how to get there. You're going to get in the car. You're going to hit the gas, maybe go fill up the tank. You're going to go around the block a few times, realize that you're lost, and then you're going to give up because your lack of belief is going to bubble to the top. And then you're going to be like, there's no way I'm getting to Florida. There's no way. I'm still stuck in Maine 3 hours later, and I haven't even budged because I don't know how to even get there. You've got to get your map out. You got to keep your GPS locked in, and you've got to keep revisiting it consistently every single day. It has to be something that you revisit. So I make sure that I have a map, and I want to share with you guys 4 different things that I do for that map. Okay. Not only do I have my chart out, I've got my chart out, but on my chart, I write down how many loyal customers and distributors I need to make that promotion happen. I make sure that I know to a T how many loyal customers, and this is how I figure it out. I find out how much volume that I have, and then from that volume, I divide it by how much the average BV is that I'm bringing in every single month. So for example, if I sell slimming systems like crazy, which I do, right? When it comes to slimming systems, it's 77 BV for us, right? So I'm going to take that big number and I'm going to divide it by 77. And that's how many slimming systems I need in order to hit that promotion. And that right there is going to bring clarity to me, because I'm not only going to say 77, I'm not going to say, I need 10,000 group volume. There's going to be a solid number there for me. Like, okay, if I hook, 15 people up with this slimming system, I've got it. I got it in the bag, right? It's easier to look at it like that than looking at that big chunk of BV and being scared. Okay. Same with the distributors. I break it right down to how many distributors that I need. How many of those little boxes you have to make sure that you have someone placed in. And then we go from there. The third thing that I have on there is I break it down into weekly. So I break my chart right down into weekly. I know that if I have 100 loyal customers that I need with a slimming system, we're just going to use that because it's an easy number, right? And I know that there's 4 weeks in the month of April, and I want to have this thing done by the 25th, right? I want to make sure that I know every single week how many loyal customers I need in order to hit that promotion, to make that happen. And I need to know how many distributors I need. So if I know I need 10 in total, then I'm going to make sure that that week I nail down 3 to 4 distributors every single week. That has to happen. So you get laser focused and you break it into bite sizes. When you look at a ladder, you don't just snap your fingers or close your eyes and jump to the top. You don't. You have to take one step at a time. And you know who the ladder holders are? It's your leaders. Your leaders are standing at the bottom of the ladder saying, hey, put your foot up there. They've already made it up there. So now what they're doing is they came back down and said, okay, we're going to help you. We're going to help guide you. We're going to show you exactly how to do it. And that's what these Zoom calls are for. That's why you need to be on them, right? You need to be surrounded by your upline. You got to be around people who are doing the things. So number 3 is breaking it down into weekly. And number 4, okay, this is like the most important thing when it comes to building your belief. You've got to break this down to how many bonuses you're going to earn in cash and how much that ending paycheck will be right around, like the average, okay? So we know like the Ruby average is what, like $600 now. You want to definitely refer to the income disclosure statement for this because I don't know the exact, because we just updated it. But you know, you've got your Ruby, then you've got your Emerald, I think is like right around 1,000 or something. Don't quote me on it. I think the new Diamond is like 28 or something like that. So think about that average, write that down on your piece of paper, and then you've got to connect it to your why. Why are you doing that? What is that $2,800 going to pay for at the end of it? What is that $600 Ruby paycheck going to pay for at the end of it? And don't forget that you get bonuses right along the way. You get $50 for every 4 customers that you get, that equal out to 300 DD. You get, once you sign a distributor, that's another $100 on top of that. So if you look at your chart, you can see where you're earning the bonuses along the way. Take those bonuses, write them out, every single bonus, and then your paycheck after that. And next to that, you need to write down exactly what that's going to pay for. If you've got it in front of you, you're not going to look at this business like it's like a job that you're just showing up to. And when that money comes in, then you'll figure it out. It's going to give you the motivation to get to where you want to go. People tell me all the time, I don't have the motivation, right? Has anybody ever heard that before? Drop a 1 in the chat. Okay. Let's drop a 1 in the chat if you've ever heard that before. I don't have the motivation, or I'm lacking motivation, or I lost motivation. When it comes down to it, motivation, it's not something that comes out of thin air. Motivation comes from knowing why you're doing it and why are you showing up for it, right? So you've got to get crystal clear on why exactly you're doing it. You got to break that chart right down. So you know at the end of that promotion, when I sign 10 distributors and 30 loyal customers, I will be able to pay off this credit card debt. Do you see how that transitions from, oh, I'm signing these loyal customers and distributors and looking at this big chart, to when I do this, I will get this. What's really crazy is I learned this when I went for my DSP when I was younger, and now I just kind of used it in this business. So it's pretty cool how it works. Everything's setting you up for everything in your future. But that's what I do to break down my chart. I make sure that it's crystal clear every single time, so that when I do this, I will get this. And then that way I have my why right in front of me. And I write that right on the front of my chart. So I can see it every single day when I'm working. I know exactly what I'm working for. I know it's crystal clear. I say it out loud. I claim it. I throw it out there. I pray about it. I talk about it. I do all the things revolving around it. Okay. So that's number 2, is make sure you have a map. Number 3 is tracking your progress. It's kind of like if you are taking a trip, okay, and you get your GPS out, and once again, you're going from Maine to Florida, and halfway through the trip, you take your GPS off of the little clicker thingy that's on your dash, and you put it in your pocketbook and you leave it there. You're going to get lost halfway from Maine to Florida, and you're going to not have a clue where you're going. So you have to make sure you're tracking your progress along the way. And here's 2 different things that I track as I'm going. Number 1, I'm making sure that I track my progress with my loyal customer and distributor enrollments. I make sure that I count down how many loyal customers and distributors that I've gotten, just like Stacey does in the runner chat, or maybe you have another upline that does something like this, where we do counting up, we do the boom challenges, we do things like that. That's all of us counting towards a big goal, right? And so you've got to do that for yourself. You've got to count up or count down from your goal every single time. Now, the second thing that I do is I count and I track what I'm putting out every single day. So I am tracking how many messages I'm sending for loyal customers, distributors, post to post, and follow-up messages. I'm making sure that I'm tracking how many times that I click the add button on Facebook and Instagram. And I'm making sure that I'm tracking the fact that I'm posting once a day about business or product. I'm making sure that I'm tracking those, because if I'm not tracking those, then what happens? We all start to fall off the bandwagon with all the things that we're doing, or we might end up going to our upline. And, you know, I've seen this before multiple times. And I think I even did this once before way in the past, is look at my upline. I'm trying to prove something. And I say, yeah, I got out a lot of messages today. But then when my upline asked me, go count them, I went to go count them. I think someone's
I'm doing okay. How are you? I'm in a meeting, just listening to it though.
So, as far as, where was I at? As far as tracking the progress, okay. I make sure that I track exactly what I'm when I'm posting, my messages. And a lot of the times I challenge myself. My upline asked me one time, well, how many messages did you send? And I said a lot of them. How many follow-ups did you do? Well, I did a lot of them, right? She said, go count them. Here I was thinking in my head, I had sent like 100 messages. I went and counted them and I sent like 12. Okay. So it's really crazy how our minds can think that we're doing a lot, but in a long run, we're sending out some messages, but then we're going and scrolling Facebook, or we're getting locked into TikTok, or we're looking at this, or we're looking at that, or we're getting steered away because our team has questions, or, you know, so on and so forth. So make sure you take care of your own business first and your own mindset first, and then you move on to your team and you start to help them right afterwards. And when you do that, you're filling your own cup up. You're not having that anxiety of your team's asking you a ton of questions. And it's like, oh my goodness, I haven't gotten anything done for my own business, right? You've got to get your own business done first, and you've got to track that. And then once you track that, then you go and you go help your team. And that right there is going to create a really good momentum for you. So you're doing all the things that you're asking your team to do, and that's going to boost your confidence when you go to tell them to go do those things, right? And then at that point, it's going to gain that momentum on your team. So that's number 3. Number 4 is having someone who's going to hold you accountable, or something that's going to hold you accountable. Okay. For me, when I first started this business, obviously I did not have an upline. And so I had to rely on people who I was surrounded by every single day, and surrounded by the people through my podcast, because I didn't know that there was a such thing as personal development books back then. Okay. So what I did was I was constantly shouting it out. You know, I would shout it out to my other half, or I would shout it out to my kids. My daughter was the best consistency partner I have ever had in my entire life. And it's because when I wanted something like building our addition on our house, for example, I went to her and I said, Mommy's going to make so much money, and it's going to make it so that we can build you a brand new room. What do you want your room to look like? And I'm telling you, that girl would come to me every single day. Mom, I'm so excited. This is what I want. This is what I want my room to look like. She would literally give me the vision so that I did not have to come up with it myself. She would literally draw pictures of her room. She would write little I remember this when she wrote this little photo. She drew a photo of all of our family or whatever. And then she wrote, I love it works at the top of it. And that was like the cutest thing ever, because she didn't even know what I was doing. She had no idea. She just knew that Mom started a new business that was going to change our life, because Mom says that it's going to change our life, right? And so she repeated those things that I had told her at one point back to me. Now at this point, we've got upline that is just so amazing that we can go to them and we can say, you know, especially if you're on this team, if you're on the Zoom call, you're on such an amazing team. You have so many options for accountability partners. You can go to Sideline, you can go to Upline. I can't tell you how many Sideline I've met just in the last 6 months that I'm like, I can go to any one of them and they could give me like a good hype up or a good tip or a trick, and vice versa. I do the same thing for them. And not only that, we can go to our upline and we can say, hey, I just need to build belief. Just like I did yesterday. I said, I just need belief. That's all I need. Right. And I went to Stacey, and she was there for it. You know what I mean? And so having that one person or those few people that, that if you tell them a goal, they're gonna hold you to it. They're gonna say, you said you do this, let's do it, right? Don't go backwards. Don't stay stuck. You don't have to stay down. Follow what God's got for you. You follow the path that he's laid out for you, and you will get all the blessings. And that's what I needed to hear so bad. So do those things, get those people who are going to hold you accountable. And if you feel like you have no one, or you're nervous to reach out to people for whatever reason, I was too at one point, go watch some YouTube videos that hype you up. Find a really good video that gets your energy going, that brings you back down to reality, that builds that belief for you, and then hop into it all in and do it every single day. Number 5, these last 2 are really, really quick. Say it out loud to yourself and write it out. I wrote it on my mirror consistently. Like every single time that my kids erased it, I would rewrite my why right on my mirror. I have a girl on my team who writes sticky notes, and she puts sticky notes all over her house with her why and her reasons why she's doing it and the things that she needs to do to accomplish it. I know like some people who put it as their background on their computer or on their phone to make it happen, the total amount. I know I've heard a couple of stories of people writing checks out to themselves in the amount that they want to make, and then keeping it for themselves and putting it somewhere that they can hold themselves accountable, right? So hold yourself accountable by saying it out loud. Talk about those things out loud, write them down, journal them. And number 6, we're all going to have times where we feel like it's not going to happen, right? Drop a 2 in the chat if you've ever been nervous of it not happening, or you've been in a month end and you're like, is this really going to happen for me? Is it going to happen? I don't know. Is it going to happen? Right? We all go through those points. And this is how you make it to that other side. When you've got this plan written down, and you've got these people who are sticking by your side, and you are tracking your progress, your one job is to stick to the plan. If you keep reiterating that plan and you tell yourself there is no quitting is not an option, backing down is not an option, there is no room for sitting still, there is no room for staying stagnant. We are moving forward and we are sticking to the plan no matter what. And if you have to write that in big bold letters to yourself, in a journal or on your bathroom mirror, or, put it on a card and put it in your windshield of your car or something like that, right? Stick to the plan. And if you just stick to that plan, the blessings are absolutely going to come. So that's kind of how I build belief in myself every single time I'm going for a promotion. We're going for double diamond right now. It's a pretty big rank and it's very, very scary for me. I've tried it multiple times, just like Shannon, but I know that if Shannon can do it, I can do it too, right? And if we can do it, then everybody on this Zoom call can do it too. So that's what I got for you, Stacey.
Oh my gosh, I love that so much. You just laid it all out for us. And you guys, number 1 is that belief. Like if you don't believe in yourself, then you're not going to go anywhere with this. You have to have the belief in yourself and what you're offering and the impact that you're going to have on other people's lives. Okay. Chelsea just laid it all out. The exact roadmap that you need for accountability to hit these huge goals. And some of you may be thinking, well, I just started. She's talking about this and leaders and this and that. It doesn't matter where you're at. We all started at the same spot. We all started as distributors, okay? We caught the vision. We found belief in ourselves. We grew in personal development, knowing that we can do this. Because I'm going to tell you that our business is simple. There are 6 billion people on social media. People want our products and they want to bring in extra income. It's our job to find those people. It's our job to find our people, because I'm going to be able to relate to people that Chelsea isn't going to be able to relate to, and vice versa. We're going to find our people. And so it's important to have that belief, even when you feel stuck, and you need to speak into existence the goals that you have. Like Chelsea said, you want to have them written everywhere. You want to say, okay, not only am I going to hit double diamond, but this double diamond paycheck is going to pay my mortgage. It's going to pay my car payment. It's going to allow me to replace our dishwasher. Like, put those tangible things on the line, like, and let your family be a part of it so you can cheer each other on. That's super important. There's something else I was going to say, and I'm having mom brain. But she gave you the roadmap. She gave you the steps. Now look at what you are working toward. Create your roadmap from that and go. You have the support. You have the guidance. Any one of your uplines on here, sidelines, are willing to help you, because we know what this business has done for us and how much it's changed our lives. So we want to be able to impact yours as well. And so know that we are one team, one mission, truly. And when you're winning, we're winning, both on a personal level and on a business level. When you are speaking something like, hey, I'm going Ruby. Okay, we can all say we're going Ruby all day long, but you need to put those words into action, right? If you just say it all day long, well, I'm going Ruby, I'm going Ruby. Ruby takes 2,000 in volume and 3 distributors, okay? So Ruby isn't just signing 2 customers for the month, right? You have to have a plan that's going to meet what your goal is. Now, if you have to change your timeline a little bit, you have to, but you have to be realistic when you're speaking a goal out. You have to be realistic about the work that you have to put in to get there. And that's why these steps that Chelsea gave are so important. And the thing is that many people will do this because they just want to bring in a couple extra $100 a month. And then they realize the huge vision of how it could really change their life and they can completely replace their income. But if you, Heidi, out of here. If you work this business like a hobby, like we've heard over and over again, that it's going to pay like a hobby. But if you work it like a business, it's going to pay like a business. And you might have to work it like crazy to reach those huge goals in the beginning and then kind of level out what your schedule will look like. But if you put the effort in, it'll change your life. 2 other things I wanted to say, and then I wanted to share something else from another top leader. 80% of the business is mindset, 20% of the business is skill. I skipped over this. This is what I meant to say by what we do is simple. We have many different people we can reach with our products. We have to work it. We have to reach out. We have to put in the consistent work. But if our mindset is right, we will not let anything stop us from reaching whatever goals we put in front of us. So if you are not doing personal development, if you are not growing on the daily, if you do not have belief in yourself, then that's what you need to focus on while you are growing this business with the consistent income producing activities that you're doing every single day. If you are challenging yourself to get to Ruby this month, let's say this month, and say that you have 500 in volume and 1 distributor, okay? That means you need 1,500 in volume and 2 more distributors, and you need to make sure that all 3 of those distributors have 400 in volume each under them. So realistically, how many hats do you think you should be getting up? How many customers do you think you should be enrolling? And if you have working team, how many they should be enrolling to hit this goal in 3 weeks? You have to lay it all out exactly like Chelsea said. And if you need help laying it out because you're new and you're trying to figure out how it all works, have a meeting with your upline. I have many scheduled and have gone through many in the last week. So when you're also going for a promotion and say you need that 1,500 in volume and you have 3 weeks left in the month, not only will you figure that out, you'll figure out the amount of volume on average you need every day, on top of breaking that up in just simplicity with the customers, like Chelsea said. That makes it so much more simple. So instead of saying 1,500 in volume, that may look like 15 slimming systems. I'm throwing it out there. I think it might be more or less, whatever. But that might be on average how much you'll need to, no, you'll need more than that, 20 slimming systems to hit that. But if you give yourself a goal of 10 slimming systems, 10 slimming system customers in the next 3 weeks, so an average of 3 to 4 a week, and then you give your team an average to 3 or 4 a week, you're there, right? So you have to break it down in a way that is tangible for all of you guys. Now, I'm going to get off this screen for a second because Ashley Mayfield shared super like helpful tips. So a lot of us at different times create these massive goals. Understand that work ethic that has to be attached to them, right? We're throwing these big goals out there, but then when we don't reach them quickly, we're like, oh, wait, I failed, right? Well, just like Shannon said, you're going to fail a lot as you move forward, but you're going to fail forward. But at the same time, it can create unnecessary discouragement because you never set yourself up for success to begin with. You created such a massive goal and you didn't have a roadmap or a plan to reach it. So then when you didn't reach it, that got you discouraged, right? So that's when I go to saying create a weekly BV goal or LC goal for you and for the rest of your team, okay? That is what is important. So for example, I'm gonna do exact example she shared. Sally set a weekly goal of 150 BV, okay? So that is approximately 2 slimming systems if we're gonna just stick with slimming systems, okay? For herself and a combined BV goal of 150, which is another couple slimming systems for everyone working under her. Say she has 1 or 2 people working under her. I was able to tell her that those are great goals. That's an average of 1 to 2 loyal customers a week to get her there. But if she wants to go Emerald this month, 600 BV under her directly, or that she enrolls directly and 600 BV that her team's enrolling, she's not going to hit it because Emerald is 5,000 and that's only 1,200 in volume. So I've sat down now with Sally and I've said, okay, if this is the goal you really want to hit, we need to increase your weekly goal of customers and distributors. If this is the goal you really want to hit, right? Because she was like, oh, this is great. I'm going to get a couple customers a week and I'm going to 150 in volume. That's great. You'll get real close to Ruby with that, especially if you already have some volume under you. That's a little more plausible for getting closer to Ruby. If you're looking at Emeralds, you got to increase that goal. So this helps her have an urgency for herself. How does she need to show up? How does she have to plant seeds? Using the resources to pull in weekly volume, checking in with current customers, right? Saying if they want to try the new product or take advantage of the promo. Any ways she can build extra volume to reach that goal. This also helps her have urgency for how she's leading her team. How do I need to show up as a leader? Casting the vision for the rest of my team, keeping it alive and honoring it with the right behavior and really loving on them, but yet being real, like, hey, if you want this, this is what we really have to do. Most people come from an employee background. I said this on our leadership Zoom that we just had the other day. Most of us can't come from an employee background. And when we come from an employee background, we want to be told what to do to reach our goals, right? Or we need to be told what to do to get that weekly salary or the hourly wage that we need to bring in. Okay, so sometimes people just need a little help with that roadmap. Us as leaders, that's our job, to show you how to build that roadmap. And to be honest with you, when you say, hey, I want to make $500 a month, well, are you willing to put in what it takes to make $500 a month? Okay, so then we talk about and break down what that looks like. And that's what these one-on-one Zooms that you should schedule with your uplines are all about. And if you aren't on my team directly, contact your upline. Say, I want a one-on-one. Let's talk about our charts. Let's talk about breaking this down into customers and team members and what this looks like. Super, super important. Some of you are working hard and looking at that Jamaica trip. And I'm going to tell you that it's totally possible. But Jamaica is the icing on top of the cake. It's the cherry on top of the cake is what I should say. It's incredible. And as you're building your business to ranking up to Ruby, to Emerald, to Diamond, you'll earn it because you'll get enough points and it'll be on top. But what you really want is that residual income that comes with it. So if you have a goal, we're talking a lot in depth. We got a lot of leaders on here going for big things. I know some of you are going for your first rank. Don't get overwhelmed by this. Like, we'll digress a little bit after. I so appreciate some of you newbies on here that are going through some huge goals that I don't want to overwhelm you. But realistically, if you're looking at this Jamaica goal, we have 3 months, okay? 3 full months. Technically, we have 4, but 3 full months. That may seem like you got plenty of time to earn this trip. So people are just sitting here right now, maybe twiddling their thumbs. Oh, maybe I'll start really hitting it hard next week. If you want to earn this trip, you need to hit it hard now. Oftentimes people put off this stuff because they think they have so much time and they don't. So technically, if you earn 10,000 points right? That's by promoting. That's by people under you promoting. That's by enrolling for personal perk members, which are loyal customers. Now we're supposed to call them perk members. We'll work on that verbiage, PMs, and then also distributors along with that. Those are how you can earn points. Okay. So if you're earning 10,000 points, break it up into this, divide that by 3 months. If you do that in 3 months, your average income is going to look like over $3,300 a month. If you're earning those points one way or another, depending on how it's broken down or promotions or whatever it might be. And so that's huge, right? $3,300 a month and a Jamaica trip, right? But people are busting butt to do that. They're not just throwing an hour in here, an hour in there. They're working it like a full-time job if they're able to, because they know what it takes to hit it. But let me see. You can kind of sit and work it out and create your own point system by looking at the requirements. But if you really want Jamaica, you have to have your goal set on it and you have to have a plan to get there. You can't just say, I'm going to enroll some LCs, I'm going to enroll some GTs, maybe I'll make it to Jamaica. If you don't have a game plan and don't have it in front of you, then you're not going to Jamaica. Okay, so it's just an option. But also remember that it is not all about a trip. A trip is amazing, but why you got started in this business was to bring in residual income for your family. And while I want to see every single one of you in Jamaica, I'd much rather see every one of you bringing in $2,000 to $3,000 a month for your family every single month. And I know that if you're doing that, you're taking advantage of the trips like this. So just remember that your work ethic is to match what you're saying, and know that you have people that are here and willing to help you. You're not in this alone. You're in business for yourself, but you're not by yourself. You've got an entire team and family that cares about you and cares about you reaching your goals. So we kept you guys 50 minutes. I appreciate you so much for being on tonight. I hope that what Shannon shared and Chelsea shared and what I shared tonight really helped you cast vision and belief for what you're doing, and is really going to push you hard toward your goals. If you need to speak after this with us, if you need one-on-ones and you're on our teams, like reach out, like let's get a game plan together and let's get to work. This might involve a lot of sacrifices. Many of you have full-time jobs. I understand that. If I see people working, I'm willing to help you reach goals. If I see you communicating with me, I'm willing to run with you. But I have to know you're committed, because my time is valuable, just like your time is valuable. And so that's why maybe you sign a ton of distributors, but maybe you stick with just the few after a couple months, because those are the ones that caught the vision. Those are the ones that you're running with. So know that if you're on here and you're new and what you've been working with us, we're going to run with you. I'm all over the place, but I hope you guys are tracking with me. And it just goes to show that, like, you guys, this was an intense Zoom of breaking it all down for you. It really was. It was an intense Zoom, but it's what all of you needed to hear. Because if you don't have a roadmap together, you're not going to reach your goals. So utilize all the tools that were shared on this Zoom tonight. Touch base with your upline. Let's run. Let's hit huge goals. We've got 3 weeks left in the month, and big, big things can happen. So I hope you all have a fabulous night. I love and appreciate you. I'll wrap us up in prayer, because I forgot to open us up in prayer, because God needs to be glorified in this. If you put him first in your business and you put the work in, he will bless it and bring the increase for his glory and for your good. So Lord, thank you so much for this night. Thank you so much for Shannon and Chelsea just being willing to speak and pour into our teams tonight, God. We know that you are in control of each one of our lives and our businesses, God. We know that you see our hearts and our work ethic, Lord. We pray that you would bring the people into our lives that we can impact with these products and with this business opportunity, Lord, that you would bring us leaders that see the vision and belief right away and are ready to run with us, Lord. I pray that you would bless each one of the families that are represented here tonight, God, and that you would bring the increase to their family, and that you would grow them in you each and every day, that you would be glorified, and that you would bless them mightily for your glory and for their good, God. I thank you so much for each one of them. In Jesus' name, amen. I hope you guys have an absolutely amazing evening. Thank you again for being on tonight and being committed. We will talk to you all soon. Bye-bye.
Why did you say